Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My husband and I went on a mini holiday 6.5 hours away to a town called Kincardine on the shores of Lake Huron. We went to visit my brother and sister-in-law. For 2 days the guys went golfing and us girls had a wonderful time visiting thrift stores, antique stores, and we even found a couple of yard sales. I had to divide this into 2 videos as it would have been too long, so this is part 1. At the end, I included some footage of the gathering of the pipe bands, which took place Saturday night in downtown Kincardine. Please feel free to skip this if it's not your thing. I will show my haul at the end of part 2, so make sure to watch it as well. So get yourself a drink, and I hope you enjoy following us on our adventures to the numerous stores that we visited. The first place we went to was a Goodwill. I did not know that we had Goodwills in Canada, so this was quite a nice surprise. It was quite noisy in there and very busy, so I didn't film a lot, and I did not pick up anything here. Next, we went to a Salvation Army, and it was a pleasant surprise. It was quite large. It was very neat and very well organized. They had a great selection of items. They had home decor, lots of glassware and dishes, a small section of books, not overwhelming, and some furniture as well. I thought for the most part their prices were pretty reasonable, and I wasn't looking for anything special here, but I'm always looking to add something to one of my collections. And I was also helping my sister-in-law to shop for a few decor items for around her house as well. This was a nice little brass trinket box for $2.99. I thought this little jug would have been a nice little decor piece for autumn. It had those colors on it, but I did not need another little pitcher. It said barleyware and made in England on the bottom of it. It also said it was ironstone, but this is not the type of ironstone that most people are collecting these days. They want the real vintage kind with crazing and staining on it. This is a look at the books that they had in the store here, and as I stated before, it was not a really large section. Here my sister is showing me a pear that she picked up. It's a pottery pear, and it was a gorgeous color and a good buy for $3. I am always looking for red-handled vintage kitchenware, but I didn't find anything today. This crockery piece said it was made in England on the bottom. I don't think it was really old. The bottom did not appear as if it had a lot of age on it. And I'm not sure what its use was. Maybe it was meant for as a wine chiller. And they wanted $4 for it. Their mugs were all $1 each. And I was checking out this glass because it was fall colors, but it was plastic. I have seen these vintage picture frames go for a lot more than $3 in other stores. Now we've moved on to a new to me used furniture store called Parsons, and they had some wonderful things in this store. They also had done their research and seemed to know what they had because they had most of the items, especially the glassware, priced at retail prices. There was some really nice crazing on the bottom of this platter made in England. And I love this Prussia bowl with the barn swallows on it, but not for $150. Wow. This German bowl was a much better price, marked down from $30 to $20. This East German bowl was really pretty. It looked like it had some gold gilding on the edges and on the decorations, and it was being sold for $15. Their furniture pieces didn't seem too unreasonable. This one was solid wood, and the price sticker on it said to $265. This old book said it was the complete method of a cornet or trumpet, and it was priced at $40, but I couldn't see what the age was. And these two old books, one was a Christian melody book from 1832, and the other was a Holy Bible from 1880, and they wanted $70 each. And I'm not sure what these instruments were for, but they were asking $130 for each set. I was almost afraid to look inside this vessel. It almost looked like it was supposed to be an urn for someone's ashes. Now this was a nice jug or crock. It did look like it had some age to it, and for $9 that was probably a good price. One time it probably had some kind of a stopper in the top. This said it was an Ertl washing machine, probably a salesman's sample at one time. And I'm always looking for uranium pieces, but $35 for each of these pieces was just a little bit too steep for me. There was lots of crazing on the bottom of this bowl also, showing that it had some age to it. This was a very nice pedestal bowl, milk glass for $5. I was looking for a maker's mark on this. It didn't have one, didn't have the name of the artist, and it was $3. This nice paperweight said it was made in China, and I did not see a price on it. And this next one was a little cut to clear trinket box. These were heavy, so I think they were carved out of ironwood. I could not pronounce the name of these, but they were made in Bavaria, Germany. I checked out a couple of their table and chair sets, and I thought the price of these was excellent. It was a nice carved table, and it had 6 chairs to go with it. And this next table was solid oak. It only had 4 chairs, but it was a longer table. Here I'm just panning around the room to give you an idea of some of the other furniture that they had there. I was not in the market for any furniture, so I just quickly went through this area, glancing at some of the chairs and the lamps that they had as well. We were admiring this leather top desk. It was in great shape. It was already sold, and the price on it was $495. They only had a small area of children's items, some smaller furniture, and some games. This was a nice mid-century modern wardrobe. I think it might have been teak, and they wanted $140 for it. This next area that we wandered through had a lot of very fancy, pricey glass pieces, and I will show the price of most of them as we scan through. They had a lot of pieces of cranberry glass on the shelves. I think a lot of this is Canadian made as well. This green bowl said it was from Czechoslovakia. And this piece is chalet glass. That's another type of glass that is made in Canada. The tag on this one said it was Murano glass. And now we've moved on to a Habitat Restore. This is pretty. There was no price on this piece. Here I was checking out this candle snuffer. It seemed to be rather crudely made. They did seem to have a few pieces of decorations out here for fall, but we were just a little bit too early. This was at the end of August. I thought these blue dishes made in England were pretty. They wanted $1.50 for a cup and saucer and 50 cents for each of the plates.
Picture are you looking for? You like this one? That's actually a really cool one. That one actually would look, the black one?
In the dishes section, I'm always looking for red transferware. I can't find too many pieces in my neck of the woods, but I thought I might have a better chance here. But on this day, I didn't find anything. This was a nice ironstone piece. It had a lot of crazing on it. You could see it on the bottom of the bowl. This little picture looked like splatterware. It said it was made in Japan. I could not make out the maker's mark on this. It was too faded. It looked like a little vase. Throughout the store, they had someone who made comments on their tags on all of the furniture, and the comments usually had a note of comedy to them. It was interesting to read them. This one said that this little table was an interesting junk hoarder. And these tags called these green velvet retro chair and couch dorm chair and couch. I don't know if this was a child's rocker or if the women were just smaller back then. This next chair was awesome, and it was in great condition. And they only wanted $55 for it.
And leather butt rocker.
And this vintage metal picnic basket was in excellent condition. Now we're moving on to a secondhand store that had clothing and Christmas items and some knickknacks. This store was crammed right to the rafters, so it was difficult to move around and see what all they had there. You had to kind of dig to find items. It reminded me more of a thrift store. A lot of the things seemed to have been there for quite a while. They were a little bit dusty and they were quite old looking. I filmed these oil lamps that were on top of this cupboard, and I never even really noticed what they were. There was stuff piled everywhere. It was kind of mind-boggling trying to film it and look at it all at the same time. I was digging in this bin on the off chance that I might find some vintage Christmas items. And these looked vintage, but they weren't really quite what I was looking for. They did have a lot of Christmas items out on some of these shelves, but most of it looked like it was dollar store items or handmade craft items. This nativity set said it was Avon from 2011, and it said it was made in China, but it looked fairly well made. But I don't need any more nativity sets. Then next door to the secondhand store was a craft store that my sister-in-law said would blow my mind. And when I walked in there, I couldn't believe everything she had. It was a small building, but it was so full. We had to take our time walking around looking at everything, or you would miss something for sure. And most of the stuff was newer, but it was really worth visiting this store. And that's the end of part 1 of my visit to Kincardine. I will be posting a part 2 where we visited some antique stores and a couple of yard sales. This is a picture of an empty building in Kincardine. It used to be the old police station. And beside it is where the pipe bands gathered to play for Saturday night. They were pipe bands from all over Ontario. So following this is a recording I did of them marching and playing. So if this isn't your thing, you can skip this part. And I want to thank you for watching up to this point and wish you a wonderful week. Bye for now.